Welcome everybody to Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. Dr. Cush, listen, this is a bartending show. I don't have a drink for you tonight. Instead, we are going to go through some prep. As a bartender, it is important to understand your prep. It is also important to understand how to rip drinks apart to try and put them back together. I am currently being ripped apart by this drink only to see if I can tape myself back together at the end of this. So we are trying our very best to recreate a cocktail from a bar called Clumsy's in Athens, Greece, one of the top 25 bars in the United States, in the whole world, not in Greece, outside of the United States. One of the top 25 bars in the whole world. We had this drink, we loved it, and now I am trying to recreate it using all of the techniques that I know, and tonight we're gonna go through a couple of those techniques so that you guys can try your very best to take drinks apart and put them back together. Watch the intro. Welcome to Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. I'm, of course, Dr. Cush, along with my barback Kyle. I'm not a real doctor, but I did spend almost 2 decades running some of LA's best bars. After years of teaching classes and training bartenders, I want to demystify the cocktail world for you. Let's try a few new things as I open up my bar to everybody. Belly up, chat, and let's have a drink. Song. Okay, what are we doing tonight? We have 2 different techniques that I want to talk to you guys about. One of them it turned out to be a lot simpler than I thought it would be. I thought I'd be banging my head against the wall to get clarified tomato juice to work. It turns out incredibly simple. I'll show you my steps and then you guys can make clarified tomato juice. The next one is getting a savory cordial to work. I have been struggling with this a little bit. So I will show you the processes that I have gone through. And then I have one process left that I have a feeling might give us what we're looking for. So that is what we have to look forward to tonight. Again, no cocktail. Maybe I'll make myself a drink here in a second. Just something that, you know, old Cush can sit back and sip on. Let me say hello to the people. Good evening. Oh, woke him up. Good evening to Shawnee Panda Baker. Good to see Shawnee P. Always a pleasure. Never a chore. Papa, oh, mau, mau. That is Chris and Amy. They are here and hopefully really interested in really clear tomato juice. My tomato juice is particularly clear, I will tell you that. The other thing didn't turn out. So I'll tell you why it didn't turn out. We'll listen. Show my embarrassing moments on the internet. I'm all here for it. Tiki Court is here, ready to go. Good to see you, Tiki Court. Tiki Court is the #1 commenter in this particular case. That might have changed at some point. DCW Clark, winner of the 2025 Cush Tucky. So, sorry, Bon. DCW Clark, winner of the 2023 Cush Tucky Derby, which makes the husbands here winners of the 2024 Cush Tucky Derby. If Bon shows up, we will have the past 3 winners here. But will Bon show up? I haven't scrolled down that far. We'll find out. Amy Salmon, she knows, what's the name again? Papa O Mau Mau. I got a feeling they know each other. No big deal. Just a little, what is it? I know things. What's the word I'm looking for when you know? Not extraterrestrial. That's aliens. What's up, Roger G? Good to see you. I have been racking my brain trying to figure out how to make a savory cordial, and the rest of my words aren't wording. Cocktail Lulu. Holy tomato juice. That would be a really good name for this stuff. Holy tomato juice. Comes out clear, sort of glows. It's interesting, just like holy stuff. I don't know. Oh gosh, Roger G. Sorry to hear about IKEA. That's rough news. Dougie G in the place to be. Motu Jen, yes, Motu. This whole experiment that we were doing started, you know what? It started a little earlier than that. I'll tell you the whole story about how this started, then we'll go. So excited about this. We have a Bloody Mary brunch coming up in a few weeks. If you are interested in learning how to make a clarified Bloody Mary, let me tell you, in the times that I have not been thinking about how to make a savory cordial, I have been trying to find fun ways to make a completely clear Bloody Mary. I'm going to share those with you this Saturday. I hate to do a cliffhanger, but I don't have the mental capacity to do a thing today. So we will get through a full clarified Bloody Mary. No booze tonight. I recognize that here at my place. Yeah. Paul, you drink for all of us. I think that's a smart idea, and that's how we'll get to it. Okay, let me say that. Okay, let me start at the beginning. About 4 months ago, I got an email from an uncle of mine. I have. This is. I'll explain my family to you. I have a country family. I have incredibly country family. I have country family that I don't believe have full electricity in most of their places. I myself am a city boy. I'm a city mouse. Absolutely. Grew up in Phoenix, not a huge city, but now I live in Los Angeles, one of our largest. I love the city. These are my country folk. Well, I have an odd feeling. I would go up, it was at a place called Vernonia, Oregon. I would go up into Vernonia, Oregon for my summers. I go stay with my grandma Moo and my grandpa Sykes and my uncle Siggy and my uncle Casey, and they would take me out and they would take me shooting. I didn't care for that. They would have me sleep in a cabin. I'm not a cabin boy. The beard, don't let the beard fool you. Under here, it's baby. I am full baby. I go fishing. You gotta poke a hole in a fish. I didn't care for any of that. So I feel like there was a rift in my family for some time. Not a rift. We didn't hate each other. What am I going to do? What am I going to talk to my Uncle Siggy about shooting? I'm killing deer? I don't know anything about it. Anyway, he found out that I was a fairly good bartender. And you know what? You know what's cool about that is bartending is something you can talk to a lot of people about. Thus, my Uncle Siggy reached out to me saying, "Oh my gosh, you know a lot about booze. Cool. We should talk about that." Finally getting the respect of my Uncle Siggy. Cool. Love that. He calls me up and he says, "Hey man, I got we're doing some sort of hunting situation and there's a Bloody Mary contest coming up. And I would love your recipe for a Bloody Mary." And what did I do? I ran right past him. I said, "Oh my gosh, I have a theory. I think you can make a fully clarified Bloody Mary." And then I gave him all the instructions, this, and then you got to milk wash it, and you got to do this, and get some Pectinix and some Key salt, and then let it sit for, 2 days, and then you're going to put it in your centrifuge, you're going to let that thing go. And he said, dude, I was looking for did you have a fun garnish for it? But since then, my little city boy brain has been clicking. How can I make a clarified Bloody Mary? I think that it's possible. So I started thinking. Well, anyway, flash forward to a few weeks ago. I went to Greece with my wife. We went into a bar called Clumsy's, and in this bar, the bartender made a fabulous cocktail, a fantastic cocktail, my wife's favorite cocktail of all time, despite the fact that I have a whole book of cocktails that I've created. Those are not her favorite. That's fine. It's fine. Okay, fine. She loved this cocktail so much. So I said, well, shoot, that's not really in my wheelhouse there. So I've now had to learn. So I've been learning. I did get a chance to speak with the bartender for a little bit. Thank goodness he spoke English because I knew how to say, "Do you drink wine?" in Greek. We all know how that goes, right? If you want to say "you drink wine" in Greek, it's "pinis krasi." Penis Karasi. Thank goodness he spoke English. He told me a little bit about it. He wasn't giving away all of his secrets, but I got enough of his secrets that I sort of understood what was going on. For a long time, I thought in order to clarify tomato juice, I was going to have to either booze it up with some citrus, which is going to change the flavor of the tomato, and then I was going to milk wash it through some cheesecloth or something to separate all the way from the curds to curdle the whole thing and get it that way. And I said, "So do you guys throw some Pectinix in it?" He goes, No. And he looks me in the eye as a Greek speaking English, as a dude that does not have to speak English. He lives in Greece. He doesn't have to speak English. He says, No. Tomatoes have their own Pectinix. And I was like, God damn, you know a lot of English. So I didn't know the word Pectinix until 7 years ago. Anyway, he says tomatoes have enough pectinax that they will separate themselves. Awesome. So I figured that's great. What a great way to start this journey. So I will show you how I made my clarified tomato juice. Very simple. These are 2 ripe tomatoes. I will say that this lovely bartender, oh, there it is. This lovely bartender did throw a couple jabs. He said there's no way that you'll be able to make this in the United States because the United States doesn't have the type of produce, it doesn't have as good a produce as we have here in Greece. That was kind of a, I was like, he doesn't speak that much English. He can't be saying that, right? Turns out he might be right because it doesn't taste exactly like what he was doing. We're going to go ahead and slice these tomatoes. I don't like to keep this is probably fine, this little nublin. I don't like to keep them. That's just a little situation that I'm all about. We're just going to roughly slice these, probably into 5s or 6s there. We got an 8-piece there. Slice this guy right there. Get rid of the, nublin's gone there. Really, really simple. Then, just click it on through. Oh no, what have I done with it? Oh, there it is. Found it. Then, we're going to take this. We're just going to throw it into a blender. Then, I put the thing back in there. Then we're going to put the top on. Dang it. Oh, I got it right here. Found it. We are going to throw this in here. Oh, sorry, forgot to add this. A little bit of salt. I have a little saline solution here that could help us out. Boop. Just a little bit of salt. Maybe like for every tomato, maybe an 1/8 of a teaspoon. That's about what we're looking for. That's about what I did with the other one. And then throw this on, blend, blend, blend. I have to use this top again in a second. We only have one top. So just imagine that these are all blended. Michael Husband asking the question, what kind of tomato are you using? That is a Roma tomato. That's not what I would recommend using. I would instead, because I use some hothouse tomatoes to make this version of it. I'm going to do a whole cooking show situation here, where now I'm going to bring out the end piece. So let's just bring this in. This is tomato water. This is from 4 hothouse tomatoes. It was less than a pound of tomatoes. And look how very clear that is. You can see 2 fingers right there. We also have this stuff, which I think looks like either watermelon or really fresh beef. That is what's left over. I've let this sit. I made this today at like 11 a.m. It is currently 6. So 1 and 6, 7 hours. They say let it sit in your refrigerator for between 8 and 12 hours. I got this. I got about this amount of juice or of tomato water within the first 3 minutes. It really just dripped through. All this is, let's get it to this one. All this is a pour over coffee holder. And then I love to, instead of using coffee filters, I just feel like paper towels do a really good job. I've always felt clarification with paper towels for some reason just works really well. You can use coffee filters, you can use a cheesecloth, whatever you want. Just drip straight through and you get this really kind of, I mean, very clear tomato water. The salt helps. The salt gets in there and starts to masticate. It starts to break down all that stuff. The blender does a really good job. Apparently, I can then dry this out. I will have a really nice, like, dried tomato garnish for this whole thing. That was incredibly easy. I did not realize how super easy that would be. If you can almost do that with enough tomato, probably 2 tomatoes per drink. You can almost do that on call. You could almost do that bespoke. Like if somebody comes in, wants a drink, you don't have any tomato water, throw that together. That, it might be a 5-minute drink, but have that. Otherwise, make it in advance and you are set there. I thought, great. I'm on my way. I'm doing it. I'm really doing it. Then I made this mess. This is a cordial. We've made cordials here before. If we want to break it down, basically super juice, pseudo juice, those are all cordials. Famously, Rose's lemon lime is a cordial. It is it's like an essence of a fruit, or I'm trying to do vegetable, but an essence of a fruit that is made with sugar and water. The sugar's in there to preserve it. Famously, there were cordials that were made for ships that would sail with the British Army because it was very hard to grow limes on a ship. I get it. Not a lot of ground there. A lot of deck, not a lot of ground. So you couldn't grow the limes, so you couldn't get fresh limes. Limes would go bad, and eventually people would die of scurvy. The reason that the British Army was the British Navy was so good at running around and invading and taking over all that stuff is because they had limes in cordial form a lot that they would serve with their gin and their rum, which is where we get things like the gimlet and grog, which became the daiquiri. Anyway, I thought I have an idea. Let's start off by making it a cordial, but let's do it the easy way. And so I did. And the easy way to make a cordial is, instead of making it into a cordial, it's making it into a syrup. This right here is gross. This is disgusting. I started off by making I broke the rule number one of making syrups and cordials like that, and I tried to flavor the water instead of watering the flavor. I took 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of water. You need sugar in those cordials because you need something that's going to preserve it. I think salt would be way too much. I think you're going to blow out your flavor, your taste with salt. So I went with sugar, and the drink that I had some sugar in it. And I just boiled some onions. So this is a sugared onion that we have right here. And this I am now calling a reverse pickle. This is I don't like pickles to begin with, and so now when I see this, it makes me kind of want to yak. This is a cucumber that I boiled in just sugar water. I wanted it to work. I really, really wanted that to work, because if I could make that work, we were in business. So I boiled this stuff up. I brought my wife, my taste tester, in, and I asked her to taste it, and she was embarrassed. She was embarrassed to know me. She was not interested in continuing this relationship. She said, honestly, it's been really good. 10 years, we did it, pal. Started packing her bags, and I said, wait. I have another solution. So on the fly, I started my next solution, and we are going to get into my next solution next. The problem with this, yes, this would have been, if my wife and I were to get divorced over this, I believe that the reason for divorce would be you can't boil cucumbers. She had a question, and I think she wants your guys' help with this. What other vegetable, other than cucumbers, can you not heat up? Do you not heat up? We could not think of a single time when you were meant to heat up a cucumber. You don't have hot cucumber on pizza. We know that cucumber's a fruit. Just go with us for a second. We know that within the pantheon of what a vegetable is considered, we couldn't think of a single other one. So I think that is where we went, or where I went wrong. My wife didn't have anything to do with it. That's where I think I went wrong. Heating up those cucumbers brought out a lot of sweetness that was closer to like a squash. It was closer to like a pumpkin almost. That's where we were going with it. I wasn't getting the crisp flavors of the cucumber, and the onion was just sort of dying on the vine. There was no bite to it. So I went to the old brain cavity, started pulling out all of my little drawers, leafing through my little Dewey Decimal System, and I thought, man, You know what you used to do all the time? Oleosaccharum. Okay, so now we're oleoing these. So for those of you who don't watch the show or have no idea what the heck I'm talking about, oh, let me just real quick. I saw somebody that we haven't seen for a long time. Let me say hello to Jeremy Foote. Oh, Jeremy Foote, you're too far gone now. Oh, Jeremy Foote. Hello, Jeremy Foote. Jeremy, if you haven't watched the show for a while, just know that for a brief time, I got deep into oleosaccharides. All right, so this basically the rest of the show is going to be for Jeremy. I think the rest of you guys all understand this. Okay, so we have an oleosaccharum. Oleosaccharum is just sugar oil. That's all it means, sugared oil. So we take some sugar. You can still see there's a little sugar down here. Getting that exact amount is kind of do it and then put less, put more. But we start to, we let the sugar get in there and start masticating, starts pulling all of those oils out until we get all of this. This is all oleosaccharum. So this is all juice that the sugar has eaten into these pieces of fruit and has pulled out all that. So what we want to do now is water the flavor instead of flavoring the water. We're not heating this up other than to just blend it. But we have gotten, now our sugar doesn't just taste like sugar. Now it tastes like onions and it tastes like cucumbers. Cool? Cool. Great. We're all on board. I feel like I'm talking fast and I didn't have a lot to do today and now I feel like I'm running out of time. So we're going to go ahead and slice this guy open. Let's get it on. There we go. Just going to give that a big old slice right across the top. Excellent. And we are going to, oh, what kind of veggies you got there? Yes, that's a great question, Cocktail Lulu. Sometimes I get ahead of myself. This right here is just a red onion and it is cucumber. So the cucumbers are still pretty firm. The red onion has that like red onion bite, you know, like red onions, when you smell them, it gets you like right here. It's still giving me that. And that's what we're looking for. We want those big flavors to go. When you boil something, you're pulling out the flavors and like just putting them into water, as opposed to having the sugar pull it out and then the sugar will get into the water. That's the idea behind this whole thing. So we're now going to pour all of this, every bit of it, right into our little blendy cup. We want all of it. Oh, right. This is how I do oleosaccharum. We have a little water. How you make cordials. Have a little water. How's this thing pour now? I'm just going to take it off. Seems like a waste of time to start learning how a thermos works on the fly. We're just going to put this here. And we were going to pour about a cup. I think for the amount that I have here, I got about a cup. Okay, Papa O Mau Mau asking the right questions. Would you put tomatoes with sugar? Absolutely. You can put tomatoes with sugar. The issue with that is then you start getting a sweet tomato flavor, and that's not always when you're talking about putting tomatoes into a cocktail. You aren't really you don't often think about a sweet Bloody Mary. You think of a real savory Bloody Mary, right? With these guys, the sugar, I put a little less sugar in here than I normally would because I don't want this to be super sweet, but I do want something to pull everything out. I also didn't want to put citric acid or malic acid or sucritic acid. I don't want to put any of those other acids in here because then I have no control over the acid that I can put in it afterwards. So if we're going to make like a gimlet, then I want to be able to control that with fresh lemon juice, right? So we went with sugar. I don't know of another substance, and I think I'm going to start looking into it. Like if I put flour in here, that's the bad example, first meeting pitch. But if I put flour in here, or if I put something else, would I be able to pull flavors out and get that liquid? I don't know, but I'm going to look into it because my only other option so far has been to add sugar. So we're just going to go ahead and pour this. This should have the rest of our sugar in it, as well as the last little dregs of water. There we go. Okay. Good. We're on our way. So that is the oleosacrum part of this cocktail. Whew. It's definitely more, gives you little tears in your eyes, this whole thing. That's what we're looking for the flavors of this cordial. So we'll close this up and we'll blend away. Now, the other issue, the reason I didn't start with this version is because the drink that he gave us was completely clear. So I do think that we're going to have to do kind of a pulse blend here so that we don't have a lot of particles that can get through whatever we're going to be straining this through. So let's just give this a little pulse. Pretty cloudy. To be fair to the experiment, the tomatoes were also very cloudy. Yes, hashtag knife liquor. hashtag Cush is now an outdoor dog. I am no longer allowed to work in bars. I have gotten an awful lot of bad habits since working in my own bar. Not ideal. I don't think anybody wants me anymore. So that's nice. Okay. We're going to go ahead and put this through a strainer. This is another type of pour over coffee maker. This is, it's just a metal one. It's reusable. That's ideal for this. I brought in a whole nother, I have one. I have a whole nother, whatever. Okay. This is my work style. This is how I work. So we're going to go ahead and pour this through. We're going to see if we can't just get the liquid out of here. It's really cloudy. Kyle, will you do me a favor and bring me in another paper towel? We're going to try and get this done right. That's really cloudy. This drink that we had was pretty clear, but I do think that this thing it lets a little bit more juice get through than it should. Oh, can we go back to the tomatoes real quick? When I first, thank you, Kyle. Appreciate you, buddy. Good work. This is my my filter here. It doesn't look too bad, but I do want to make sure that it's as clear as possible. So we're going to run it through a second strain. With the tomatoes, my first strain through the tomatoes was very cloudy. It was the same color. It didn't come out red or anything. It just came out like a yellow, like a white yellow situation. That wasn't what I wanted it to look like. I wanted it to be very clear. So I went back to some of my old lessons, the old things that I've known, and that is when you're milk washing something, you want to run the milk wash through the curds a second time. So all I did was I took the water and I ran them through the tomatoes one more time, and it came out perfectly clear. Yes, there's a little yellow tinge. There's almost no way to get rid of that, but that is where we're at. Okay, let's see. Can we pour this back in? We want this, want all of that out. There we go. Everybody out. There we go. And then we are going to find another glass. Do you think this will fit? Yes, that'll fit. We're going to find another glass. We are going to put this here, and we're going to try and get a good strain here. So all we're doing, putting this in exactly like we would put a coffee filter in. We're just going to strain this one more time. Professional bartender here. Dang. That didn't do much. That didn't do much. I don't have a lot of leftover anything in here. Maybe we'll throw this in here. This is another way you can do it. I'm just going to throw the rest of the schmutz, whatever you call that, and we're gonna strain this whole thing through the schmutz. See if the schmutz will help us get everything out. Well, that's clearer. A little bit. So a big mistake that people make when they are when they're doing this whole thing, when they're straining, when they're clarifying, is they start cleaning out their filter too much. You don't want to clear out your filter almost at all, because all the stuff left over will help to clarify, because it has to go through more stuff to get in there, and then that should give it to you. Okay. Yeah, Dougie's asking about a centrifuge. I don't have my centrifuge up and ready. I do have a centrifuge, but it's not up and ready. I think maybe we'll try the centrifuge later. I do just want to try these two things together so that I can see if I'm even on the right path. Now, good news, the good news so far is that I can smell the onion. I think the cucumber is being a little muted, but again, onion has an unmistakable smell. Nobody ever says, "Oh, stay away from that guy. He's got cucumber breath." I've never heard anybody complain about cucumber breath. Maybe you do. Maybe, you know, it could be a whole society of people that I don't understand that have cucumber breath, but cucumber breath doesn't seem to be a thing. So the citrus or the onion breath is definitely a bad thing. I mean, you can't see my fingers through it. Not great. Not perfect. Not perfect, but a little centrifuging might help it at some point. We will centrifuge on Saturday. We will try and get all of this stuff going on Saturday. But I want to see if at least the simple syrup that I made, the onion and cucumber simple syrup, was not it. So this is a cordial that I have a feeling I can just smell it. It smells like it might work. So let's throw this here. Right there. Everybody move over. And then get her a little Cush tender glass. That's me. Maybe celery instead of cucumber. Yeah, Papu Mau Mau, that's honestly, celery would be great. The problem with it is the drink that my wife fell in love with was a Greek salad. It was called a Greek salad gimlet, and that has cucumber and it has onion. So I have to try and recreate that here. So I'm just gonna do equal parts of each. See how we did. So that's half an ounce. Let's taste it while we're at it. Smells like onion. It's pretty right on. That's pretty right on. I think possibly my Kyle or Jen, either one of you. Do you guys want to come in and taste this? I think it'll be fun if my wife tasted it, but you can also send Kyle in if she wants to keep running the show. There is definitely an onion point in this that is really strong. So this is a very, very strong. Kyle, you're going to taste it? Kyle seems to like the smell of it. I think we're lacking a little bit in the cucumber. Right, though? Yeah, I mean, it's right there. It smells like onion. I think we're just missing a touch of cucumber. That's an odd face you're making. Remember, you're just drinking onion and cucumber with a little bit of sugar. Okay, you want to? Can we get a? Oh, salt. Can you bring in the salt when you come back? You know what? I got saline solution here. I'll just throw a little saline solution in here. Yeah, Kyle is saying we need a little bit of salt. I think that's probably right. So we'll throw a couple dashes of salt. Let's just fill this up a touch more. This is saline solution, 4-to-1 saline solution. It's only black because I use black salt. That might be too much. With the saline solution, the cucumber comes out, the onion sort of mellows out. I think we're on to something. I think that a cordial, the same way that I wouldn't make a raspberry cordial by boiling my raspberries, I would throw them into a bag and I would suck the air out of them with some sugar, pull out all that stuff and masticate it. I feel like that's the way to do it. So I do think that a savory version of a cordial will be the exact same thing. I just want to try it with a little bit. Let's see how much we have in here. Half an ounce. We'll throw in half an ounce of some tomato. Oh, did I put it in the wrong thing? Oh well. Half an ounce of tomato water. Honestly, for like in small amounts, it is pretty clear. Let's move the thing out of here so you guys can see it through the light. Small amounts. Oh, God. There we go. Small amounts, pretty clear. We got a little bit of a white there. This is our tomato juice right there, or our tomato, our clear tomato. Looking pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, yes. Is it a perfectly clear cocktail? No. The tomato juice, the tomato water will be a little yellow. I don't even know if a centrifuge will help. I will try the centrifuge before Saturday and see if we can't get it together. But let's just see if we got the flavors right. I don't know. I think I did it. I think I did it. It's a little salty. I can't think of another reason that I would use an onion and cucumber cordial. So I think adding the extra salt in there probably was the wrong thing to do. Nothing against Kyle or anything, but because there's salt in the tomatoes already, I think the tomatoes are bringing the salt into what we're doing. So I think we're right there. I think we're right there. Oh my God. I went long. Okay, that is that. So hopefully you guys will join me on Saturday when we will use this to actually finally build this cocktail that I've been talking about for 3 weeks. This the Greek salad gimlet from Clumsy's. We have exploded it and we're putting it back together. And we are also going to make, and I have a lot of theories on how to get this done, including using some of the bitters that Steve sent me, and making our own version of some Worcestershire sauce that will be clear. Get that? It will be clear so that we can have a perfectly ice clear. Is that a thing? Can you say ice clear? I say it in my life. A crystal clear version of one of the thickest cocktails that you can order, a Bloody Mary. I'm pretty into this. Saturday is so far away. Sorry, I hate to leave you guys on a cliffhanger, but I can't do a 5-hour show tonight. We might do a 5-hour show. It'll be after the USC game on Saturday, so I'll have plenty of time to sit and talk to you guys on Saturday. We're going to really get this done. I think I'm right there. I think the oleosaccharum is the way to go. Pull out everything. I don't know. I might mess with my formula for the oleosaccharum. I do think that salt will start to pull stuff out the same way that you like salt a steak and it starts to pull out the juices of a steak. I think if I do a mixture of sugar and salt as my oleo, would that be like sodium citrate? That can't be right. Oleo, which is oleo citrate and oleo, whatever. I don't speak any other language. We might try this with a little salt to bring all the flavors out. That's what we got. Yeah, we're gonna need 3 hours on Saturday night. Yeah, we got a lot to do Saturday night. Get your clarified tomato juice ready. Try to make a savory Greek salad cordial. Done talking. Solio sacrum. Yeah, salio sacrum. Maybe salio sacrum. But it would, oleo sali sacrum, I think is what it would be, because it would be sugar and salt. And anyway, that is what I have for you guys tonight. Thank you for jumping into my brain with me for a second while we dissected a cocktail. And now we will put this together, and I promise you, Saturday, we should get weird. We're just going to get weird with it. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. I'm Dr. Cush. Until next time, what do we always say? Well, let's find something else that we always say. We always say things like, when we finish stuff like this, we say things like...
That's all I am. Just a regular human bartender. This is the way we talk in Tucson, Arizona.
That is true. That's the way we talk in Tucson, Arizona. Until next time, guys. Okay. And also...
Are you Dr. Jinga Janga?
And...
Bye!
Bye. Oh, should have hit that thing. Bye. Bye.
I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what... Bye!
Bye.
Hi.